Hi, I'm İpek Köprülülü, and I am a self-employed graphic designer and typographer with an MFA in Visual Communication Design from Rochester Institute of Technology. My work is built on the idea that typography is more than just letters on a page. It is a powerful, independent visual language that adds layers of meaning to words. Today, I will explore this concept further. Typography goes beyond simply communicating words. It has the power to reinforce meaning, shift perception, and unite people around a shared idea. In this presentation, I will explore this concept and continue with a case study on how typography can reshape the structure of a novel. While words alone often carry similar meanings, typography can give them a range of interpretations, revealing its potential to create diverse emotional responses. In The Solid Form of Language, Robert Brinkhurst emphasizes that words need a contextual framework to acquire meaning. This insight guided my approach to creating a context for textual content and led me to experiment with a visual context rather than relying entirely on a verbal one. Johanna Drucker points out that by focusing on the form and visual qualities of the type rather than its semantic, typography reveals a world of expressive possibilities that go far beyond conventional text presentation. And Brinkhurst also discusses the historical evaluation of scripts and their social influences, highlighting the deep connection between societal forces and the visual representation of language. The idea that scripts change over time to meet society's evolving needs demonstrates a shared understanding of typographic forms. With these points in mind, let's explore an example to clarify the topic. We will examine different typographic treatments of the word empty and discuss just a few of the many meanings they can express. Here, the word appears in its simplest form using a sturdy, bold typeface that can create a sense of heaviness and tension and gives a negative or maybe stressful feeling. What if we add some space between the letters? Does it create a more positive sense of emptiness? For example, like freedom, a fresh start, or a breathing room? But if we turn the letters to lowercase, the consonant structure disappears, making the emptiness feel more uncertain, suggesting disconnection or even vulnerability. How about here? Now the word symbolizes being completely alone in the void, reinforcing a sense of isolation and insignificance. However, when we exaggerate the size, the meaning shifts in the opposite direction. It no longer feels like emptiness, but rather overwhelmed, as if lost in a crowd, suffocated by presence rather than absence. This version can represent a real physical emptiness, like an abundant space or a space waiting to be filled. Or it can symbolize emotional emptiness, such as feeling hollow. Here, it can be about the moment of forgetting something, like a blank memory or disconnection in one's thoughts. This one can represent a sense of breaking down, the loss of meaning, or emptying the space. At the same time, by introducing movement, it contrasts with the stillness of the emptiness, emphasizing its presence through dynamic disruption. Or this could suggest chaos, letters scattered in different directions, as if everyone is running from something unseen, creating a sense of fear or disorder. We can also experiment with different typefaces. From sturdy and serious letter forms, we can shift to thin, modern, youthful, and playful one that bring a more positive and energetic attitude to emptiness. With the use of serif and italics, emptiness gets melancholic and feels delicate and almost weightless, as if it's fading away. This can be another form of fading, something slipping away, dissolving into nothingness. Here, emptiness feels infinite, like looking into a deep well with no end. In this version, the word seems to be disappearing, as if carried away by the wind, reinforcing the idea of temporariness. This one conveys a fragile emptiness, but also a form of isolation. And finally, these physical letters act as a presence within emptiness. They remind us that even nearly invisible forms have shadows. like they exist even in their absence. One of my biggest influences was the Bald Soprano by Ionesco, designed by Robert Masson. In these typographic explorations, we can see the different voices, the chaos of the argument, and the climax where the debate ends with people scattering in different directions. The playful placements and font choices reflect these ideas and make us follow the conversation and sense this shift in atmosphere as if witnessing a performance. Along with these examples, I was also influenced by Martin Minsky's collages that create different interpretations of the text and unconventional combinations of images. All these led me to my case study titled Unbound, an analog tapestry of reading experiences. For this project, I decided to work on The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath and to express the narration and feelings in it with typographic treatments. The final results are an accordion book, a poster series, and an exhibition. To show how we can add different layers of meaning to the same text, I have chosen just one sentence consisting of 5 words or 11 letters from the book. So all the pieces of this project use this one sentence to represent the thematic content of the novel by taking different forms. The selected sentence is I felt very still, very empty, which is abstract and open to represent various moods in the book, either literal or metaphorically. Before starting working on the typographic images, I have designed a collection of 4 typefaces, inspired by Sylvia Plath. Each typeface is tightly connected to the mental stages she reflects on and shown through her selected codes. As I Am is the first typeface in this collection, embodying the protagonist's initial determination and independence. She starts strong and confident, but then she gradually weakens. The tapering lines and inky, imperfect blobs represent the self-confidence and mental stability she loses over time, hinting at the fragility beneath her strength. The second typeface is called Here I Am. It captures her internal conflict, the tension between her true self and the role she's forced to play. This struggle is reflected in the typeface's contrasts. Rounded outlines clash with sharp inner corners. Stroke weights are highly uneven, and some letters carry a heavier presence which mirrors her disintegrating sense of self. Its irregularities, alternate characters, and rule-breaking forms echo her instinctive, unpredictable movements. Am I is the third typeface. Here, the focus shifts to her longing to escape. This typeface reflects a specific and haunting moment as a drop into still, silent water. Inspired by the fluidity of ripples and waves, the letter forms appear uncertain but still intentional. The final typeface, called Who I Am, embodies the protagonist's indecision at life's crossroads. Its curved forms resemble branches, endless choices unfolding before her. The unicase form and alternate characters act rebellious and symbolize the idea that we're not bound to follow a single path. Then these typefaces are collected in a specimen which has a French fold format and reinforces the concept in the book with different revealing techniques using mirrors, semi-transparent papers, and fold pages that hide information. To begin working on the typographic images, I needed to make key design decisions. To guide this process, I asked what the elements that shape a reading experience are. Drawing insights particularly from Peter Mandelson's book, What We See When We Read, I identified 3 key concepts. The first one is temporality. Each time we revisit a text, we bring a new set of experiences accumulated since our last reading. These experiences act as filters through which we perceive and interpret the text, leading to different understandings and perspectives. To emphasize this idea, the project explores analog image-making techniques. In analog processes, an image can only be captured once. Any attempt to replicate it produces a completely different result. This unpredictability is parallel. The second concept is subjectivity. As readers shaped by different life experiences, we offer different perspectives on literature. This diversity enriches the reading experience and underlines the influence of personal context on interpretation. The idea of using collages derived from this concept, which visually emphasizes diversity and perspectives. The last concept is visuality. Reading is an immersive experience where our imagination plays a crucial role. As we delve into a text, our minds become a canvas where the writer's words come to life. This idea supported my decision to visualize a single sentence, demonstrating the infinite interpretations and visual representations that can emerge from the text. With these decisions made, the design process started with making collages. I used both the typefaces I designed and the thin typeface, which has a simple, sturdy appearance that better highlights the image manipulations. I separated the sentence into three parts, as I felt, very still, and very empty. For each part, I selected materials to explore various facets of the emotional experience represented by the phrase, both in literal terms and through contrasting interpretations, to reinforce the meaning. Here are some of the examples. For I felt, ink is chosen to represent the essence of book while also conveying feelings of being tired. Mesh symbolizes a sense of being trapped and confused. Counterforms illustrate the emotions of escaping. Threads and knots convey a sense of suffocation. Cut-out letters coming out of the paper depict escaping and screaming, while torn paper reflects depression and also represents the book itself. Cyanotype illustrates fading away, and rolled paper symbolizes looping struggles. For very still, pins stand for stabilization, while spiral paper cuts represent an infinite trap. Lenses are used to distort the text and add dynamism. Beats create a sense of escaping. Text cut into stripes illustrates being torn apart. Infinite and broken mirrors show a state of being all over the place and confusion. Smeared ink conveys a sense of movement, contrasting the idea of stillness. Threads tying the text describe feeling of suffocation and being trapped. For very empty, bubbles in water symbolize the silent underwater. Paper and tube form depicts infinity and loops. Cubes are used to represent emptiness, while tunnel papers illustrate echoing. Embossed foam highlights subtle illusions with shadows to represent emptiness. Textured glass pieces are employed to destroy the text, illustrating mental problems. Projector in the dark represents fear, while paper cones symbolize looping and recurring problems. And threads pulling the text out convey pressure and distress. Then, I digitally manipulated these images. And printed them to create the components of the collages. These are some of the many collages I created with these pieces. While working on them, I focused on providing balance, contrast, and a dynamic flow and visualizing different meanings the sentence can represent. After that, I photographed the collages and made final digital adjustments. The entire process involved a continuous interplay between analog and digital image-making techniques, moving back and forth between the two. By using the collages, I designed an accordion book to emphasize the conceptual theme and emotional changes in the bell jar. This accordion book represents the content through a single sentence. The novel begins with a natural emotional tone, but as the protagonist's psychological well-being declines, her decisions are affected, leading to a chaotic moment where she loses consciousness. The narrative then continues and eventually returns to neutrality. This cyclical pattern repeats throughout the novel, symbolizing how we experience similar emotional changes in a lifespan. For this reason, the book is designed as an accordion where each page holds unique content but can also be arranged in a circle, which illustrates the connected and looping nature of these experiences. The accordion book features 17 collages, which explore how different typographic treatments can alter the perception of the same text. These collages progress from simplicity to complexity and back to simplicity, mirroring the cyclical journey of life and emotional change. By varying the size, layering, and composition of each collage, the design enhances thematic exploration and visual storytelling, effectively capturing the protagonist's psychological journey. To engage viewers with the content in a different way, 6 collages, each with varying emphasis, meanings, emotions, and materials are selected to be displayed as posters. These posters serve as visual pieces that go beyond type, demonstrating how words can interact with viewers in diverse forms. To further support the idea of layering information, the images are tile printed and the posters are constructed from puzzle pieces. This approach adds a three-dimensional effect and allows the typographic treatments to stand out from the paper. Each poster represents a different meaning. One contrasts dynamic speed with stillness, symbolizing the effort to reach for help. Another visualizes a scream echoing in the void. A third piece expresses darkness and invisibility within a crowd. Another represents a chaotic whirlwind, symbolizing entrapment. The next design uses nuts to represent the feeling of being trapped and still, while the final poster captures a subtle, silent moment of depression. I presented all these pieces in an exhibition that continued the concept and provided another medium for engaging with the type. I arranged the 6 posters in a circle with the book at the center, creating a looping experience for viewers. Through this exhibition, the type was set in the space and gained an added dimension. During the exhibition, the tactile components invited viewers to physically engage with the materials. They explored the different meanings they could create through the interactive piece and experienced the power of typography in various formats and sizes. By offering bookmarks, I also aim to extend the typographic experience beyond the exhibition and allow viewers to interact with type as they place them in their books. The entire exhibition was crafted using just one sentence, which showed the infinite possibilities that typography can offer. I received very positive feedback from a lot of viewers, particularly from the ones who had read The Bell Jar before. They expressed excitement about how the typographic images captured the book's emotions and content, with each piece highlighting a different aspect of the narrative. In conclusion, this entire process demonstrates the immense power of typography. With just 5 words and 11 letters, numerous images were created that transcend their literal meaning, evoking different emotions and interpretations. This proves that typography is an independent visual language that profoundly reshapes meaning. And to me, that is truly amazing. I hope you also found typography's power compelling. Thank you so much for your time.